So I'm going to tell you about my cat called Banjo. And whilst I'm telling you about my cat called Banjo, I'm going to have a go at printing. So I'm going to use my finger, which I've just made wet, and I'm going to put some dark coloured watercolour, because he's a what we call tuxedo cat, a black and white cat. And I'm just going to dab my finger on some paper. And I'm using watercolour here, but any poster paints, finger paints, anything like that you've got is great for this. And Banjo is a very special cat. I've come into my life about 2 years ago now, I think. And he come from a rescue centre, and bless him, he's not very terribly well cat. What he is a cat with a condition called FIV, which means that the rescue centre found him very hard to rehome, and they also found him very hard to deal with when he's ill. So knowing this, and knowing that I have an incredibly busy lifestyle and that I've got 1,000,001 things going on, I thought we'll give him a chance, we'll see how he gets on. And he has turned out to be one of the most adorable little creatures that I've ever known. And for some of my friends will know, about 2 months ago, before the pandemic started, unfortunately my houseboat where I lived was very badly damaged, and as part of that, whilst I was away, it sunk, and Banjo was being looked after by my neighbours, but still on the boat at night. Had to make a getaway in his litter tray, and he climbed into his litter tray as the water was rising up across the floor, and decided that his best chance of survival was to turn it into a raft, and he managed to float up one floor. And when my friends came to rescue him, he was there ready and waiting in a raft, and just floated out the door to greet them, which just shows what an amazing and clever cat he is. Now, I've just dabbed my finger around, and you can see it's loosely cat-shaped. So now, I'm just going to use a brush, and we're just going to create some detail on this. So I'm just going to throw in some whiskers. A very long whisker there because I got carried away. And we'll just define out some of these paws. Mustn't forget his very long swishy tail. Now, as many of you know, I'm a Sea Scout, and one of the beauties of being a Sea Scout is that we're all for all things nautical and all things sailing and boating. So I thought, let's give Banjo, in this little drawing, a nice neckerchief to show that he's part of the family of scouting, and that his recognition of what he's been doing deserves a blue neckerchief. I think the colour of the sea. I'm just going to add a little bit more shading to that. And mustn't forget Banjo's most defining feature are his lovely yellow eyes. It's a little bit too wet for me to do them, so I shall add them a little bit later. A little bit more definition on the tail, I think. I'll just add some colour. And there he is, Banjo the kitten, ready to go to sea.